All right, what's up? Gonna be talking about how I beat the nightmare levels today. And so, when you do look to beat the nightmare levels, there are a few options you can take, right? I always talk about, the Felina option, as well as the what's it called, Mr. Flamey option. Of course, you'd put Mr. Flamey in the front here rather than have stuns here. But the best option, in my opinion, and the option that is a little bit less accessible, I'd say, is going to be using a DPS mythic, right? I used a level 400 Amaterasu, level 400 Mighty, level 10 Speedy, and that was my way to clear JR Nightmare. My stuns are pretty similar to what I have now. Of course, I don't have them all this high leveled. I had pretty much all of them in that level 1 area, maybe Slime King around the level 400 area. Of course, no evolutions as well. And this is like the setup or kind of core strategy I use to beat JR Nightmare. This is what I think the best strategy is in the game, because not only does it set you up to have a high leveled carry for the elemental challenges, it also allows you to be able to get a rather cheaper clear, right? Amaterasu and the other mythics, only 20 million gold. Felina, 40 million gold. And Mr. Flamey is kind of a pain to farm for, a pain to go into the Power Stone upgrades, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, as I said before, mythics set you up for the end game, especially if it is a DPS mythic, right? If it is something like an Amaterasu, a Zeus, or a Jiraiya. Of course, Amaterasu and Jiraiya are going to be the best options in my opinion, but I'm sure something like a Hades, Poseidon, what's it called, Zeus, even maybe a Bastet could work for this role. Just Amaterasu and Jiraiya are going to be the best, right? And of course, if you do not have a sort of like global range type of DPS mythic, of course you can always run your damage in the front, right? If you are choosing to use a Hades, of course put Hades and the double buffs in the front here, and then honestly put whatever in the back row here. Just put global damage, right? Even if your Felina's not very high level, might as well put her here. By the time enemies reach here, you probably lost the level anyways, because you are relying on that mythic carry, that carry that you've put a lot of your gold into, the carry that's going to be doing most of your damage. But yeah, it's pretty much the general strategy that I use to beat JR Nightmare. I've talked about the options a lot, but again, like I just use the DPS mythic. I use Amaterasu, I use stuns in the middle, and in the front as well. Gonna be the best option overall in my opinion, and I think yeah, nice and cheap, sets you up for the end game. Best option overall, just use your DPS mythic. If you don't have DPS mythic, again, use a Felina. Better than Mr. Flamey in my opinion. The 40 million gold is a little bit tedious to get, but it's going to be your next best option if you do not have those DPS mythics. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Been getting this question quite a bit, how I clear the nightmare levels, what strategy I use for nightmare levels, and yeah, this is gonna be it. I use a DPS mythic, I use stuns. Levels are just in buffs and in the DPS mythic as well. And of course, you always need your buffs levels. Buffs are going to be the easiest way to prop up any carry to be able to beat the nightmare levels. Yeah, like, subscribe, and see ya.